Happy Monday. In the US, it's President's Day. In Canada, it's known as Family Day today. And for the post office, the banks, governments, this is a day of holiday. That's bugging me. And it's reversed on camera. There we go. So if you're not working today, enjoy it. Enjoy it to the fullest. And it is February the 19th, and it's just a couple minutes past 5:30 in the morning. And I've sort of, okay, for the last few days, you've heard me talk about energy healing, and it's really becoming a big part of who I am and what I've done all of my life. And I want to take just a few minutes before the card reading to kind of explain it a little bit. It is a gift we all have. There's no doubt about that in my mind. It is a gift that everyone can use. It is part of who we are. We are all energy. Okay, I gotta move that. There we go. Whatever. But I want to share a little bit. If you haven't had the chance yet, please go back and watch the live event that's recorded on my Facebook page from last Friday on how it kind of sort of works and the success rate we had with the 3 people. But I always do follow-ups, and the follow-ups are really important to me to make sure it lasts, that it's not just temporary, if it needs to be tweaked a little bit, if there's something else that needs to get done. But I bring that up for a reason, because when we do an energy healing, it can have a profound effect that day. For most people, it can be a lasting, profound effect. However, there is a slight caveat there. If you've had, let's hypothetically say something. If you have knee pain, there we go. And during an energy healing, that knee pain from an 8.5 has gone down to a 0, so that there is no more pain. And that lasts during that day and that night and the next day. After having suffered with knee pain for years, but the next day you go out and say, I'm all better now. I'm going to go for a 5K run. Your body's not used to that. It takes time for the muscles to get readjusted to what's taken place. It's kind of like if you broke a leg and you had to be in a cast, and your cast is on your leg for 6 weeks. Well, the bone heals. Well, those muscles and ligaments and tendons that aren't getting utilized properly get weakened. This really is going to bug me. And you need to go to physical therapy after you have the cast removed, and they're going to start moving the muscles again, and you have to start building them again, and you have to kind of readjust those things. Same thing, God forbid, if you're a diabetic, and we've stimulated the pancreas enough so, that it can bring your sugar levels down to normal, and you go and you check, the urine test the next morning, and it's like, this is really good. You still need to stay with your doctor and keep informed and keep an eye on your sugar levels. But you can't just expect an energy healing to say, my pancreas is now fixed, and go out and eat, half-gallon ice cream. It doesn't work that way. Fibromyalgia, there are a lot of triggers to that. Weather. What I've been so pleased about with that in particular, I have found that even though the triggers come, the typical triggers for fibromyalgia pain, most of the people that I've worked on, they might come back just a little teeny tiny bit, but 90% of the time they don't come back at all. So remember, if we're working on your knees or working on your back or working on your shoulders, or something similar to that, or, nerve pain or whatever it might be, we're basically sending your brain a signal to heal that part of your body, because we're all energy, and we can focus on, the point where the pain is, but it is really sending your brain, your energy brain, Um, this needs to be healed. This needs to be reduced. It relaxes the nerves. It relaxes the muscles. It makes it feel better. But then you need to build again, especially if it's something you've been suffering with for a very, very, very long time. Other thing I want to bring up, energy healing is not if you have a cold. If you have the flu, it's not going to help that. If you have a viral infection or a bacterial infection, we can stimulate the immune system a little bit, enough for it to go. But if there's a toxic in your environment, if there's chemicals that you're using, I get this a lot. If there's chemicals that you're using that, are affecting your eyesight or your breathing or how your lungs are operating, if your skin's itchy, if we can do that and calm the nerves down so that that's not there anymore, you can't go back to using the same chemicals. You can't stay in the same environment that's causing the problem. Those are very temporary reliefs then, because you got to remove the cause in order to find the relief. And it's not for everyone. I'm the first person to tell you there are things that it can do and there's things that it cannot do, or at least things that we're not aware that it can do. I had a wonderful gentleman come to me the other day, and I was like, I have no idea if this is going to work. I have zero idea if this is going to work. And it did. First time I had ever tried it. It was just, let's give it a go. Because if we don't ask and we don't try, how are we going to know if it works or not? So I share that because this afternoon on Monday, on February the 19th at 4 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. Mountain, and I promise to cut this hair before I go, we are going to be doing another live event of energy healing. I really like it when I can bring folks on camera with me. If you don't want to go live on camera, then we can do it via phone call. If you're in the US and Canada, that's the only long distance I can dial. Otherwise, if you're willing to come on camera with me, we can work one-on-one. It's very simple. It doesn't take long. Excuse me. There will be a donation link if it does help you. When it helps you, any amounts of donations are always appreciated. It allows me to continue doing this. When this reading is done, I'm going to go get a pair of scissors. All right, see what happens. This is what happens when I don't blow dry it and just let it go natural. So I wanted to share that first because I know a lot of you just listen to the card reading and then you kind of say, okay, thanks, and kind of disappear. So with that in mind, I hope you'll join me at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, and 3 p.m. Pacific Time. Anywhere else in the world, you're going to have to look that one up. So after I said my prayers this morning, they told me to talk about this first. So I said, which deck are we going to use? And I was really quite uniquely surprised, actually, as to what deck I was directed to. And it is going to be Doreen Virtue's Angel Therapy Oracle deck. It is published by Hay House. It has an amazing energy to it, if you will. I figured if we're talking about healing and energy healing, maybe a little angel therapy. And just kind of go there. Okay, I heard that. Thank you. I do have to reiterate, energy healing is not Reiki. Reiki is not energy healing. They are similar, but significantly different. Significantly different. I am not a Reikiist. And this does not work for spiritual healing. You need to turn to God for that. This does not help for depression. Also recommend you turn to God for that. This does not heal emotional healing or grieving. I have a lot of people tell me that they're grieving in pain, and I understand that. Also recommend turning to God for that help. Okay, I just got told to stop shuffling. So let us see indeed what God, His Son, Holy Spirit, our loving angels and spirit guides have to say for us this marvelous Monday. That one right away. What about the one that, okay, that one is both of those. Okay. Okay. I heard this for myself this morning, and I'm being told to say it here as well. What are you willing to give up to live better? Wow. I took that to heart over this last little bit of time, especially that I've been concentrating more on energy healing. Yeah, I was literally told by my sweet guardian angel Rose, Monica, you gotta clean up your act. She's right. Yesterday was an anniversary day for me. It was a year ago yesterday, on a Sunday, not the date, but the day, but it was a year ago that I almost died. I don't bring that up a lot here, but believe it or not, I was choking on a submarine sandwich that I fixed for myself, and it got lodged in my throat, and I was sitting, whoops, wrong side. I was sitting back there in the recliner, and I was enjoying this beautiful Italian sausage pepper submarine, and it lodged at the very bottom of my throat. I couldn't breathe, couldn't do like anything, and I'm like, oh my God. And it's like you suddenly realize that, you know, you're going. I did manage to get myself out of the recliner. Let me see what side we're on. The door that's right there, leads to my kitchen. It's not far. And on the opposite side of that wall is the stove. And I managed to get that far when I realized I was going to black out, pretty much die. And my thought went, Lord, I'm ready, but please don't let me die on a submarine sandwich. If you've read my book, you know this story. And as I was leaning on the stove, literally dropping to my knees, I felt two hands on my back push me, like literally, like just shove me as hard as could be. And from the stove to the sink, probably less than 6 feet. And I hit the kitchen counter by the sink, and this got dislodged. I remember crying for relief, crying for joy, crying for the awakenedness that gave me. Okay, I heard stop shuffling. And to finish the story, and it's just, it's an amazing feeling when that happens to you, when you realize how blessed you really are. This was a wake-up call for me. This was enormous for me. That was a Sunday. I had Sunday, Mondays off back then. Tuesday, I returned to work, and the head of the building, if you will, or the head of the company, not the head of the company, but the head of the site, had called me into her office and had offered me a new position. It would mean, you know, increase in pay, all those other good things. And as I sat there and I listened to her and I smiled, because we had a great relationship, loved her to pieces, thought she was awesome, out of my mouth came, I appreciate your offer, but I am going to be giving you my 2-week notice. And I told her what had happened on the Sunday. And I remember doing a follow-up saying, life is too short, and I want to enjoy it to the fullest and be of service as much as possible. And that's what has brought me on this journey of this last year. And if you want to know more, buy my ebook. It's on my website. But we do have, it looks to be a 4-card read. And let's go see. And these are going to be a little bit harder to read, simply because the print's small and the pastel colors. But I'll do my best for you. I don't usually need what's on the bottom because I'm feeling the card more than anything. But the first one is a God box. Now, if this is something that you want to do and it's helpful to you, fine. I don't use it. It's because I put all of mine into prayer and release it. But a God box is something you can create, whether it's a cardboard box, a Tupperware box, or Tupperware style box. If you want to make it pretty, if you want to make it fancy, you certainly can. But let me see what it says for you here. It says, write, okay, let's do it like this. Write any worries, concerns, or desires on a piece of paper that you put into a special container called a God box as a way of letting go and allowing the divine to help you. Some people need that physical action of writing it down and then releasing it into a box. There are many places that do this. Some people will, take it out and look back on what they thought they wanted. It's kind of a little bit like journaling. But you can also take those pieces of paper if you need that physical act and burn them and release it that way. If you need a ritual to release and let go and let God. I do that by having my faith and trust here in my heart and my soul, knowing that I am a child of God. If it makes you feel better to make a God box, give it a try. What's it hurting? A few pieces of paper? Not at all. I mean, it doesn't hurt a bit. Okay, this one's unique. They say that there are indigo children or indigo people on our planet, and that they are descendants, what's the word I'm going to use, of star children or of higher individuals or a different type of intellect or from another space and time, which makes them extremely sensitive, which makes them almost lofty, because the normal day-to-day almost seems beneath them, because they have an all sensitivity. They have like an all knowing. It's like you look at a 3-year-old and say that's an old soul. It's kind of like that. It's like they have a universal knowledge that defies all logic as to how they got it. So if you are knowing someone like that, or you are someone like that, to know that that's also a gift of giving of the universe to this particular person, and that they make excellent leaders, they make excellent people to turn to for their wisdom. But keep in mind, they can be very harsh. They can also be very dogmatic in their beliefs. They can also be almost bluntly rude, because they're going, why aren't you getting that? Next card. Ooh, cool. Alrighty. Your crown chakra, right here in the top. Mine still hurts right here from when I smashed my head. But the crown chakra rests here, the top of your head. And it's also telling you that you can truly understand and listen to your ideas, to your thoughts, when you clear your crown chakra more. It is opening up your heart, your mind, your soul, your higher self, to hearing the wisdom of the ancients, their messages from your true divine guidance from God, His Son, and Holy Spirit. They are sent to you as an answer to your prayers. Write them down. This time I tell you, write them down so that you don't forget them, especially if you're in a hurry. If you don't have paper handy, and we all have a cell phone, all cell phones take recorded messages. Do that until you get to a place. But don't let those thoughts of wisdom, they're like little droplets. It's like tidbits of like, oh, that's a great idea. Not, fearful thoughts. But write them down, because those epiphanies, those aha moments, those great ideas really is your divine guidance getting you to take action. Last card. Oh, it's a perfect fit. You ready? Trust that what you see in your mind's eye, as well as with your physical sight, for your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. When you're clairvoyant, they're like snippets of movies. Whenever I do a mediumship reading, it's like I'll get little images, and they're just there just for a second. But they leave a lasting impression when I'm talking with the person that I'm doing the reading for. I did one the other day, and it was so delightful to me, because I kept seeing like little blip, like blip, I'm like, okay. And it was a vision of a grizzly bear standing on his hind legs, straight up, with his arm raised up. And because I didn't mention it at first, I'm like, okay. I said, because I didn't mention it at first, it kept popping up, just like a little bit, a little bit. And I finally said, okay, I gotta ask, what the heck's with the grizzly bear? And it turned out to be the lady's uncle, whose nickname was Bear. He gave me that image so that I would be profound about it, because it's like, why the heck is there a grizzly bear here? And it's just like, it was one of the people she was truly hoping would come through with a healing and a loving message. So when you get those images, pay attention to them. I ignored it at first until it kept coming and coming, coming. And I'm like, okay, I got it. It's just pay attention to what you see out of your peripheral vision. Do you sometimes see things kind of moving by? Do you see like little flashes of light? Do you get this like reel of, like, again, a cinematic reel, little movie playing? Pay attention. It's not your imagination. It is your third eye. It is your clairvoyance that is coming to light. Or if you've always had it, maybe just asking you to pay attention a little bit more. Okie dokie. Well, this was a longer reading than I expected it to be. And I do thank you for your time and patience this morning. And I do want to wish you a marvelous, marvelous Monday. I'm going to make a correction on the numbers on my Facebook page. Thank you all so much. We are over 3,500 followers. I haven't checked it this morning on the fans, but I think we're right at 3,400. You have my sincerest thank yous. It's really true. Because fans and followers are not the same. They're almost always 100 off, so I kind of messed it up the other day. But thank you for your hearts, your likes, your comments, your messages. Thank you for, following me here and subscribing. Thank you for letting me do this and coming into your life every day. It is an honor for me to serve in this method. And the fact that you like it, gosh, thanks. Have a beautiful day, a marvelous Monday. Take care, and namaste.